a ghoul named Augrael that Lucca had encountered before. It was separately from the party, um, and who had tried to warn you of taking a particular staircase further down to the next level, so the level below the library level, because of a strange wolf man that was haunting that level. But you did not heed his warnings. But at least or he followed along anyway, and was quite helpful in the battle that followed afterwards, because indeed there was a wolf man down there, a werewolf man and his wolf companion. And as it turned out, it was the druid that had killed one of the Otari townsfolk's wife decades ago, and must have since hid out down here in these vaults in a part of the complex that was more a natural cave um, than a constructed dungeon. And you managed to capture him and deliver him to the local authorities, where he's currently waiting to be transported to Absalom for proper trial, which is probably going to be swift, and incarceration. Um, his wolf did not have as much luck because uh, Augrael is pretty good at keeping his hunger in check around you, but was not as good as keeping it in check around the wolf. Um, so there's not much left of that. And from there, you started exploring the proper level, or the proper a proper part of the level. Oh, you also completely missed. Yeah, right. You also completely missed an encounter with a very strange creature that looked like essentially a swarm of maggots and leeches, but dressed in relatively fine clothes, that has set up shop in a study at the other end of this level. So what had happened was you took a set of stairs down to this level. You entered a kind of a dining room where a gruesome scene met you, where a couple of skeletons were lying around, and you were starting to piece together some horrible um, event that must have happened here a long, long time ago. And after fighting some undead atrocities in that room, you went further ahead to the room next door, which turned out to be the study of this walking swarm of leeches and worms, uh, who didn't want to be disturbed. So you gave chase as quickly as you could, because he seemed rather powerful, and just ran away from the Gauntlight Keep altogether. And he didn't follow you, at least not for very long, it seemed, because he never caught up with you. But you had then decided to check out some other part of this level before facing him again, if you ever muster the courage to do so at all.
We'll cross that
Um,
bridge when we get there.
yep. Speaking of a bridge you crossed, you actually did cross a bridge from that pavilion that the Wolfman had set up shop in, and you've entered a winding, like a kind of like a rectangular set of stairs that was winding um, upwards as you were going clockwise. And from there, you took an exit into a temple-like room to a dark entity of some sort. Again, you found the imagery of the empty graves and the ghosts rising up from those graves and then getting sucked into some unearthly apparition.
And this is all underground, right?
This is all of it is underground. Yeah, you're a whole level below the library level, like going deeper and
Extra
deeper.
spooky.
Yeah, deeper and deeper below the Gauntlight. And in that cathedral, you had a pretty tough fight against a couple of crawling hands, and some half visible, wispy beings of flickering light that seem to be somehow connected to this divine or powerful entity, since um, they were somehow exuded by the altar-like centerpiece of this cathedral-like structure. But you've managed to overcome that particular encounter, and then wanted to move further south from there, where there was this like uh, kind of like a wide hall lined by sarcophagi. And as you took your first few steps into this hallway, two of those sarcophagi opened up, and two kern whites stepped out, um, and a battle ensued that went downhill very quickly. And the situation that the party is in right now is that Ottardo, Augrael, and Souma are currently being chased by these kern whites back through this winding staircase and towards the pavilion of the Wolfman, whereas Lucca had been hoping to circle around and take another way to get there, but on his way there got critted by one of the whites and is currently unconscious and just seconds away from dying the true death. So
Do we
yeah,
know what Ottardo's in trouble?
I don't think you know. Well, you know that he's by himself, and you know that these things are really powerful. Um, but you had no good way of getting to him the other way around, so there really wasn't a choice for you, um, but to run. But I would assume that as you don't see him show up at the where those two paths cross, you'd probably be concerned very quickly. Um, They had left this morning without you, but I would say that that was probably just a little bit of misunderstanding, and they thought that you may have not been ready yet or whatever. But once you've heard that the heroes had been seen leaving town, you probably, put on your armor as quickly as you could and just kind of ran out of there to catch up with them as quickly as you can. Um, so what I would say, because I don't want to punish you for missing a session, but I also don't want to completely throw out
All
the
the stuff they've done.
yeah. So how about we start out with a fortitude save for you to see, like, because you've basically been running here in your poorly slapped on armor, and then like chased through the dungeon levels. But yeah, you're a hardy lady, so you have no problem um, taking uh, this long run um, without any effect on yourself. But you did only poorly fit your armor, so I'm gonna say that you're clumsy one until you have a chance to spend like 10 minutes or a couple of minutes, let's say, to properly, put on your armor. So clumsy isn't terrible. It means you take a status penalty of 1 to dexterity-based checks and DCs, which includes AC, reflex save, ranged attack, and skill checks like acrobatics, stealth, and thievery. So it's just that the armor is kind of getting in the way. But I will let you kind of pop up on the scene here, of course, very much out of breath. And you see, I hope everyone is here. And you would probably have a light on, so you're welcome to light up a torch for yourself if you have one. Or I can light up one for you. There we go. Oh, it looks like you don't have torches on you.
No, I do. I have a torch.
Oh, okay. Then light it up.
Working. I think because we're paused.
No, that shouldn't have anything to do with it. It says that your quantity of torches has gone down to 0. It always consumes an entire torch when you turn it on and off.
Yeah. I see.
So that's probably why. So
Yeah,
we
you
don't
have
need to
my.
do that. If you have one torch, that's fine for me.
Yep.
All right,
Yeah,
so
I have a
you
torch.
essentially you chase down these stairs and stumble into this room, and then you see Soma. Think she's yeah she looks drained, like her skin or her face kind of fallen in. She's clearly still terrified of something, and she's being chased by Augrael. So for a moment, you probably think like, "Oh no, she's running from a ghoul." But you have
Uh-oh.
met Augrael, so after a few moments, you'll realize, "Oh no, no, Augrael is also terrified of something and running." But I think that's as best as you can tell what is happening here. So roll a perception for initiative, and then we'll just continue where we stopped last time.
Right. I might have to leave in 10 minutes just to put the kids to bed, and then I'll be right back.
All right.
Just waiting
Okay.
for
So
Lisa to arrive.
okay. So let's see how far we can get until then. All right. So Augrael's turn.
All right. Augrael looks at Ottardo and he's like, "We're still running, right?" As he sees this scared white behind him.
Yes.
Okay. He is going to use his probably all 3 actions to stride, I would imagine. Let's see. Make sure my speed is 30. So that's 1. Oh, but he doesn't have a light, so he well, we'll see.
Well, Birke should have a light on, so I'm just gonna add a torch to your sheet, Alia, and then I'll turn on your torch. Here we go.
Oh, hi. How do you pronounce your character's name again? Is it just Birke?
Alia?
Yeah,
Right.
just break.
Just Birke. Hi, Birke. We're running from some other whites, not me. I'm a ghoul. They're coming through that door. That was his second stride. I think he'll just wait here till the others catch up to see what they want to do. But he is going to be on the lookout for where he thinks. I guess actually he'll probably end it right here because he wants to look for Lucca coming through that little tunnel because that's where he
Right.
thinks he's gonna be coming from.
Yeah, and you look out for him, and you feel like by now he should have made it back here. He should have even been quicker than you because it should
Yeah,
have been shorter.
yeah,
So you're starting to get worried very quickly.
yeah. And he's like, Lucca, Lucca. He's yelling out as he is waiting.
All right, I'm not gonna make you wait your third action if you want to spend it. Because like I said, you would have expected him to be here already.
Okay. I think he's still gonna stay put to see what his friends want to do because he's not gonna go jumping in by himself to get another person down.
Got it. All right, Birker, taking in the scene.
Okay. Am I injured? Because my sheet says I'm injured.
You should be at full hit points
Okay.
because it's been a couple of days.
All right. Then, in that case, I'll look bewildered at Augrael as he screams for Lucca and run into position. Can I move here and set myself that I can let Souma pass, but not anything behind her?
Yep. Basically, like,
Okay.
get behind me, sort of. Yep.
And yeah, so I plant myself there, Gisarm out at the ready, trying to make sense of the situation and shouting to Suma to hurry up.
Ottardo.
And can I ready so like an attack action or something
I,
against?
I believe that was 2 move actions to get there, and ready is 2 actions. So,
Right. Okay.
no. Ottardo.
Uh, okay. Well, Suma is right by the door, so Ottardo will trust Suma will slam the door on her way out, and he will just take 1 move and then 2 moves, and he will raise his shield for his final action.
All right. Okay, then initiative comes to Lucca. It doesn't look like Anthony left any rolls for us. So I feel bad, but I think I'm just gonna have to roll for him.
Would he have a hero point, even though he is not here?
Yeah. I mean, oh yeah, you have one from last session. Okay, yeah, then that's fine. I was just a little torn because it's like you should get one at the beginning of the session, but we're in the middle of an encounter, so it's kind of weird. But Lucca had one saved up from last time. Yeah, that makes sense to spend that hero point. And it's just spend all your hero points to stabilize. Is that how that works, or what happens?
I
Uh,
think it's said to avoid dying.
to avoid
Exactly.
dying, yes.
Which I think essentially it means kind of finding a way to get yourself out of this.
Yeah, let's find the rule text for that. What exactly applies or doesn't apply? So it's
Yeah, it
avoid
says spend all your hero points, minimum 1, to avoid death, and you can use it when your dying condition would increase, but you lose the dying condition entirely and stabilize with 0 hit points.
when your dying condition would increase, so he could even roll first to see.
It seems like, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Then that makes me feel much better about rolling. So that's just a flat check, right? Against 10 plus dying.
Yep.
Well, here we go.
And technically on the sheet there's a button that does it with all the math already.
I don't never use character sheets, so where is that?
It's right under hit points. There's dying and wounded, and there's the
No
icon
problem.
for a d20. Yeah.
Thank you. All right, so it would increase, and I guess we can have it increased by 1 for 1 round. We don't need to spend the hero point just yet. Okay. Here we go. One of the whites turns. Let me check their speed again. Yep. All right. So we go here and then here. And then here. And then third action, Soma. One of them, yeah, you hear it coming. You hear its sword scraping across the stone tiles of this passageway. You know, it's like it doesn't need to breathe, but it constantly exhales this this sound. It's like a raspy rush of air, like a crypt door opening and the foul air spilling out, and you hear that echo through the narrow staircase hallway, and then it eventually like moves into view in front of you with not rushing, just slow paces, but terrifying nonetheless. And you see it like over your shoulder, right behind you, and then it's your turn.
Thomas screams as a reaction and immediately shuts the door and runs away.
Nice.
Both the door is in action, run away for one move. So she will immediately like run past Ottardo. Will say, Birke, you're here! That's great! Run! And my third action, I would actually also raise a shield.
All right. Okay. Hold on. That was Soma's turn, and then the door opens. You see the handle ever so slowly bend downwards, and then the door gets pushed open, and the other Karen White, completely unharmed, still steps out and moves all the way here to meet Ottardo. Sword at the ready, bringing it forward instead of hauling it behind it, but not having another action left to attack just yet. Let me double check if I'm forgetting any sort of aura or something when they enter the scene, but I don't think I do. No, I don't. Okay. So then it's Augrael. You're muted, Matt.
Sorry. I think Augrael's gonna delay until after Birke and Ottardo go.
Okay. Then it is Birke's turn. Now they said that Birke would attack, so Ottardo and Birke finally back in their tried and true position, Birke uses the advantage of the extended reach of her Gizarm to attack. Here we go. Striking Gizarm against the Kern White. That's a miss for the first one, a hit for the second one. She does 17 points of damage to the undead horror. Basically just like driving her Gizarm into the creature's chest, and the flesh crumbles and the big hole remains. But that, of course, does not mean much for an undead creature. And as her third action, I guess I'm just gonna do one last attack since.
Ooh.
Well, look at that.
There we go.
26 points of damage. Didn't we all miss Birke? All right, here we are. That was. Oh, right. It would have been hunt prey, but I'm not gonna take back a critical. So here we go. Yeah. So she drives it in with the first one, and then she twists the blade around, uses the hook at the blade of the Gizarm to full effect, and you just kind of like spreads the ribcage open, and does some tremendous damage to the white. Augrael.
Oh man, what to do here? 'Cause there's not a lot of room to maneuver. What would Augrael do? 'Cause you can't occupy the same space and like attack and then move back, right?
No, not without
Yeah.
special feats
Yeah.
or doing very little.
I think Augrael is going to. Oh man, that feels like a.
We got Alchemist's Fire.
What do you say?
We got Alchemist's Fire.
Oh, we do? Okay. Who has
It's
it? Do we
it's
each
in my
have one
bag.
or?
In my
Okay,
bag, you can get it.
All right, I'll use one stride action to get there. I will grab the Alchemist Fire with the interact action, and then I will throw it with my last one.
All right, let's see.
I need to put that in my inventory, or can I make is it a dex roll? Or
I think maybe I can drop it in token.
Oh, that'd be perfect. That's not what I meant to do. I didn't mean to draw like that.
Harry, I am not allowed to move items to this.
Yeah, I guess I need to do that. So
Sorry.
let's see. Drop, and I'm gonna give you one item. So now Augrael should have an Alchemist File Lesser in his
There we
inventory.
go.
And when you equip that,
Alright.
you'll be able to use it as an action.
All
Yeah.
right. Oh boy, I thought it was gonna be a little bit of more of a bonus. All right, here we go.
Let's see what happens.
Mhm.
Who needs a bonus when you roll like that? What is that?
That's the crit.
oh.
What the
That's
hell
the
just
first
happened?
time we've seen something like this.
Did you set that up for yourself?
Yeah. Yeah, it's one of the options on that Dice So Nice or whatever.
Oh man, okay.
Oh man.
But anyway, you should have been trained in that, I believe, because it is a ranged strike.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, okay. Well, it doesn't matter for this particular attack. So did you roll crit damage here?
Is it? No, it did not roll.
You just rolled regular damage?
Yeah. Want me to I can press critical this
No,
time.
no,
Want me
no,
to do
that's
that?
fine.
Okay.
I can use the double button to apply double damage, and I believe that's splash damage here. So the additional 1 point, is that right?
I think so.
No,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's splash damage. So since I believe Ottardo is within the splash range,
Yep.
Sorry,
within
Tardo.
you take the listed splash damage. All right, take it. 1 point.
Which or would it be 2? Would it be doubled?
Nope, it specifically says splash damage does not get doubled on a crit.
Anthony, you're just in time for your character to die.
Well, not quite.
the
I'm
live
just-
season.
I'm in right now. I'm not home, so
Oh, okay. Well, we realize that you have a hero point left from last session, so you're not gonna die. It's just a matter of how low can you go. But
oh yeah, that's a good point. I completely forgot about hero points.
Yeah.
all right, Augrael, you toss that brew at the Cairnlight. It goes up in flames like crazy. You can't believe that somebody was trying to sell this as just a, you know, just a spicy beverage, and it completely immolates the undead, who is is in flames, completely on fire. All right, that was your turn, Ottardo.
Ottardo will raise his shield and, well, the plan was to run, but the tide seems to have turned and we are in a nice choke point, so he is going to try to push this creature
Push it. All right.
to its death.
Oh, obviously.
Sorry.
All right, that's a hit. Roll for damage. 6 points. You swing the silver hatchet, and you cut its head clean off.
Nice.
Unfortunately, as you
Oh no.
as your blade connects and the head is severed, just from the momentum of the swing, it seems like the body is rolling around. But then, with some last final spiteful muscle twitch, it makes one last strike at you with its sword arm, and that is a full, but 20 points. Yeah, so you have your shield in position and defend yourself successfully. Nice. And then the creature goes down.
And I think he will skip his last. Will he? Let me see quickly. Yeah, he will skip his last action.
All right. Okay.
He'll let the creature come to him.
All right. Anthony, do you have access to your sheet? You probably not, right?
Not at all. No.
Okay, I'll roll for you. And you're at dying 2 right now, and you rolled a 6. So you go down to dying 3. But as we know, this will not be the end of you. The final remaining Kernwhite steps forward, accelerating as it does, and it just steps over the smoldering remains of its companion, and then with a wide and wild swing tries to attack Ottardo. Ooh, and misses. Maybe its feet catch a little bit of fire from stepping on the smoldering body, and then it follows up with a second swing of its longsword, however, and succeeds. And does 12 points of damage to you or your shield?
No, to Ottardo.
To Ottardo, okay. Soma, your turn.
Well, I think I will try to be decisive, and Soma will. Where is it? There it is. Will produce a wand out of her pocket and will use it. Well, I have only two actions left, so it will be two projectiles.
All right, let's see the damage.
Oh.
Nice.
Nice.
Max damage twice, and yeah, you send those little force bullets darting into the creature, and it just goes like hitting both of its shoulders one at a time, leaving large holes in its shoulder taps and the actual flesh and bone. Whoops. And Birke's turn. I assume Ali is not yet back.
No, I'm back. I'm back.
You are excellent. Okay,
Yes.
so
So if Ottardo is between us, but my weapon has reach, can I still hit it?
Yep.
Okay, so then that is what I'm doing. Wait, first I'll do the customary hunt brain. Of course.
Excellent. Yep. That will be religion.
Religion. Second. Hmm.
What have we got? Oh, there it is. Well, I mean, it reminds you of a zombie, but you've never really seen zombie fight so proficiently with swords. Maybe it's like a special zombie, but you don't
I
know
shall
anything.
have to write about them. This is
There
all
you
part of my
go.
research.
That's your hit. 10 points of damage, and you once again you embed your gazarm into the creature's skull, and it like topples backwards, but just like the one before it, um, in going down, it musters its last remaining strength and swings its longsword to attack Ottardo one last time. Oh, and your shield? Nope, it hits you easily, so the shield prevents a crit, however.
Yep.
So that's
Well,
10
we're
points of damage. But then the white goes down. You all catch your breath for a second. You look around to make sure your friends are okay. And then it dawns on you. Where's Lucca? I'm gonna say that was Birke's turn essentially, right?
Yep.
You would have a third action if you want to spend it, but I'll say it takes a moment to fully take in, the fact that Lucca is missing here. Although Augrael, you already were wondering where he is, so now that the fight is over, what do you do?
Can I use that action to
Yeah.
fix my armor?
It takes more than an action. That's a couple of minutes.
How deep is the water again? You told us, but I couldn't remember.
Me neither. Yeah, so right next to the pavilion, it's probably like more than 10 feet. Hard to tell because it gets dark pretty
Okay, it's
quickly.
not, but he could jump in, and it wouldn't he wouldn't be hitting the ground immediately.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, he'll jump in. He'll go Lucca and jump over the into the water and start scrambling in that tunnel. We gotta find him. He should have been here.
All right, I'll let you jump as part of this move, and you go splash, and you dive in, and indeed it is quite deep, and then you have to swim a little bit to get to the shore, which falls off pretty steeply, so you kind of have to pull yourself out almost like in a pool, and then you climb up here. So I would say that this whole thing takes you 2 actions to get over
Okay.
here.
And he'll start creeping through looking for Lucca. Let's see, that was
Yeah, and as you start turning that corner, you see a pile of bones on the ground.
oh no. So that will be his action, but he'll just scream, he's here, we need help.
Ottardo.
Ottardo's gonna turn around to tell Birke there were only 2 of them. The path should be clear, and then he will move back up.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
And up the stairs.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And even further up. Got it. That's your turn.
Yep. 3 moves.
Okay. Lucca gets to roll one last time. And decides to use all of his hero points to lose dying and become wounded 1. And I guess then we can lift initiative, and everyone gets 80 XP.
Nice.
And then you can decide what do you want to do next out of
Well, I
initiative.
mean, yeah, went out
Finish
with
putting on
initiative,
my
but
armor.
is still kind of dire situation. So Soma actually will follow Augrael and jump right out after him. I would actually want to try to jump right into the shore over the water.
Nice. All right, give me, I believe that would be athletics. You could probably do both, or either, I should say. Oh, no, hold on. Long jump is athletics, yeah. So here's a prompt. $16, so that means you can jump 16 feet, and that is
There are
Yep.
16 feet.
What's that?
I think that's pretty much should cover it.
Yep, it does, but I will ask you to make an acrobatics roll as well because you're also falling a good amount to get down. So I'll say that is essentially just because I'd say that is like a balance roll. So I think I can prompt you for that as well. There you go.
I feel
Yeah. Okay.
kind of appropriate because I'm still boosted by the bracelet, so with a running start. The bracelet also gives me like bonus to acrobatics check, so it's getting somewhat easier to jump like this. For Soma, I can't actually jump over this bridge pen.
Okay, I'll pull you over. So you jump across and you like land on the other side, rolling to catch yourself and then land on your feet and you continue to run.
Right after. Augrael.
Okay.
There it is. I think I already tried to do battle medicine on Lucas.
Yeah, hold on for a second, because the other two were running around the other side and ran through the temple once again. So I'm gonna ask the two of you, Birke and Ottardo, to do this will save here. All right. 17. Okay. So Ottardo, you're probably, I mean, you're rushing to save your friend, and you've been here before. You will no longer bow to whatever entity, deity, demon, whatever it is, and let yourself be scared by its unholy presence. So you definitely do not take any effect from this. Birke, you hadn't seen this before, and maybe even as you rush through it, you have to slow down a little bit because this is just such a bizarre thing to behold. These patterns on the wall, and as you like look around with the Ottardo's magical light and your flickering torch, which at this point you probably would have dropped, so I'm going to turn it off. But in Ottardo's magical light leading the way, the faint blue glow of this central altar piece, it almost makes the shapes on the walls start to move, and as if those ghosts are truly like moving towards the ceiling. But every time you try to focus on one of them, it is just a relief on the stonework. It is horrifying, and you are frightened. We'll give you that condition.
It didn't actually describe Birke.
I think I did
Yeah.
when I kept
Yeah.
up. You have an idea, Ale?
I think so.
Okay. So you're frightened, and as long as you're in that temple, that doesn't go away. So, I mean, kind of pointless, but after a few moments, once you get here, it still takes a couple of moments for the frightened condition to wear off, but eventually, you shake off that fear. But I still wanted to impress on you how horrifying and haunting that presence is in that temple. All right. So now
Not my
you all
favorite
gather.
place.
What's that?
Not my favorite place.
No, that's a good summary. The pile of bones on the ground is in front of you. Lucas remains. It's hard to tell with a skeleton, but Soma, you seem optimistic that he can still be saved.
And I've seen how he puts together. So maybe we can get some rawhide and a bit of elbow grease and work out. Okay, let me. What? Too late to do the first aid on him. Immune to treat.
Oh,
I
you mean
think
from
he might be.
I guess we'll might as well take a break then and come back to this tower.
well, what do you mean though? Is he immune? You mean from because it has been applied to him, or because of his undead traits?
I was wondering if it was the undead.
No, I mean, since last level I can treat wounds on undead, so because I used
oh,
battle medicine on him.
No, I think they're separate. Battle medicine is its own counter, and treat wounds is a separate counter.
Yeah. It has this weird wording that battle medicine lets you do something like treat wounds, but it's not actually treat wounds.
Like, I guess then, for simplicity's sake, I will just treat wounds on him.
All right, let's do it.
He also has a wand of good magic, not that evil healing magic that we could use.
I mean, can you use it? Because I can't.
No, I can't. No.
Then we'll have to bring him back to consciousness and then have to use it on.
Yeah.
Never mind.
So once again, you take out your anger on your companion. No, because I think the same thing happened when you did battle medicine. So this is a regular failure, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
No
So
effect.
no effect. All right.
Lucca does have some little vials on him that say, "In case of emergency, dump on me."
Then we probably should do just that. Like while we sifting through his bones, Soma thinks like, so emergency. Well, I mean,
Take a dump on him.
yeah.
What?
Well, wait a second. Maybe I will. Maybe it will work after all. And she like tries to put his rib into his nose and something like see like a tusk. No, maybe it doesn't work like that. Right. Okay. And ultimately, after her attempt, treat wounds fails, and she will just the dumping.
Is that should be an oil or something, right?
Unlife.
Unlife. I don't see it on the sheet. Is it on the party sheet?
He should have a couple of them. I forget if they're called like Ungent of Unlife or Elixir of Unlife or something.
I don't see any of those. Maybe it's on the party sheet. Stash.
Are they in his backpack? Maybe. I know I picked up a couple of them.
Yeah, I remember that too. But I see a pint of oil, a bag of bones, some more assorted bones.
Why does he have so many bones in here?
It's just full of bones.
He uses them for spare parts.
Yeah, but I don't see anything. I see some lesser healing potion, which is weird that you would have one. So I wonder if something went wrong there. There's nothing in the stash either. But I definitely remember that we got some at some point.
I got two. I know. I don't know why they're not on my sheet, but I definitely got two.
All right,
And I remember. I don't know. But.
Okay, I'll roll.
Oh, nice.
I'll roll for the lesser all of unlife here. So that's 17 points of harming magic that wash over Lucca's broken bones and mend most of them. I don't know what that would look like if they would actually, snap back into place. I guess they'd slowly move and rotate, and some of the yellowed bone material would like magically fill in. and he would come back to consciousness.
I live again.
Ooh,
Oh, good, you're not dead again.
well, for a certain degree. I mean, yeah, we almost lost you. Sorry.
Oh, what has happened? Ah, oh dear. Where are we? This isn't how I planned for things to be at all.
Well, yeah, I think we can all thank Birke because without her, we would be able to be dead.
Birke's here. Birke, where are
I just
you?
made it back in time, I think. I have no idea what's going on.
Ah, you have saved us. That is what is going on.
I
Come, someone turn my cranium towards her.
Augrael shifts his head all the way around 180 degrees.
Turn my eye socket so that I might gaze upon our savior.
I think you can
All right.
probably stand now. You look okay, but if
Yeah,
you
I
want me
think
to move your head,
you
I
need
will.
to. I think you're finally calcified. You'll be stable
Oh.
enough soon.
Let us see. And the skull will just float up to drifting around head height, and then the rest of the bones will slowly pick themselves up and arrange themselves under the skull. Oh, there we go. Oh, better. Yes, I see. Oh, what is this? He reaches up and he grabs a rib bone sticking out of his nose hole, his nasal cavity.
But it's not your own.
This is well, this isn't my nose.
I mean,
Who put this
I
in your
thought,
backpack?
yes, I thought. I mean, it seemed like it belonged there. I'm sorry.
You can't just put them willy-nilly. That's not how it works. He takes it out. He puts it back in his rib. It
I
feels
think it's a
weirdly out of
chicken
place
bone.
there.
I take out a
Well,
chicken bone
yes.
that somehow got lodged in there.
Chicken bone. Well, chicken bones are not ideal on account of they're hollow. They tend to break more easily. But really, any bone that's just about the right size and shape works. As a matter of fact, I'm not actually sure that any of these are my original bones. Besides the skull, that is.
Well, I think we've tarried long enough here. Let's at least go up a level to somewhere that is relatively safe. Then we can regroup and decide how to proceed.
Well,
That
Yes,
sounds good.
Okay.
I suppose a fine notion. Nobody was unduly injured on my account, were they?
not on your account. It seems a collective effort in this case.
Oh, good.
And
Well,
none
I'm
more than
glad to
you,
hear
by the looks of it.
I don't owe anyone anything.
So
Alright.
we're two.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess Augrael would know a decent place, maybe.
I mean, you have
Or
your
with the party.
own little chamber that you could offer.
Oh yeah, let's go to my place.
Oh, yes, that's right. We can hit the negative energy on the way.
Oh yeah, the showers, as you called them, which is still really
Showers?
weird.
I don't even know where I got that term.
All right, let me move you. And where is your room? There's your room. Okay, just a second, and then here we go, activating that level. Yeah, so you retrace your steps. I assume you avoid the temple if you can, so you take a couple of steps down the that into that natural cavern, and which still is like quite strange, and there's a few things that you might find curious in there, but you don't have the bandwidth right now to deal with it. So instead, you just climb up onto that raised pavilion in the center of that natural pool, and you climb up the stairs to the library level, um, where Augrael and Lucca can hit the showers for a few rounds, which would bring you all the way up to full hit points within just a couple of moments. And then Augrael takes the group into a room that most of you haven't seen before. You hadn't been to this part uh, of the vaults or of the library level, really. And it is remarkably homely. Like it's a cross-shaped chamber, and there are several long couches with leather cushions. And I mean the leather is cracked with age, but it's somebody took care to make it comfortable. I would think. There are a bunch of plants around, all of them dead, but they're still here in planter boxes along the walls. And there's a little fountain in the center of the room, long since dried up, but still quite decorative. In the fountain itself, like at the center of it, there's a little lighthouse, um, as a decoration. And finally, there's a door here to the east. So yeah, Augrael, that's your place. There's probably a bunch of books lying around. I don't know if you left some snacks behind.
Yeah, don't mind the mess. I'll just tidy up a bit. It's not usually this messy, but yeah, make yourselves at home. We can rest here.
I look amazed at the books, fascinated. I love books.
Me too. And Augrael will start showing him his favorites. I read this one just a little bit ago. Very good. Uh,
Does your bookmark like a stringy piece of hair of unknown origin?
yeah, definitely. uh, and yeah, he definitely there's like smudges of like dried like blood and like other unknown substances across some of the pages.
It just means that the books were well read and loved.
Yep.
Ottardo's gonna rest up in a little corner and start refocusing to use his healing powers. And I think it would take him roughly like 1 hour to get himself and Soma back to full.
Someone also will sit down and try to refocus, but in this case, she will just try to regain her mental fortitude.
Yeah, I think Augrael's fascinated at Ottardo's refocusing. Like, I don't know what it looks like, but he's probably like just observing and like maybe even like taking notes, like very on the sly, like wondering what he's doing, because he knows that like Ottardo might not love the fact that he's an undead.
He's actually pulling out like a book, leather-bound book, that has written on the cover legal code, and he's sort of reviewing it.
Right. Studying for the bar.
Well, I
guess you're already
already,
a lawyer. Yeah.
no, it's good to keep up to date.
Anthony must be.
Yeah, I assume he's about to return. So all right, so it's an hour. Augrael like probably peeking over Ottardo's shoulder, but I mean, the literature might be a little bland for Augrael's taste. So yeah, showing Birke all of his cool books. Birke, sounds like you're positively surprised by an undead being
It's
such
a good collection.
yeah.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I wish I could go in the library in Otari, but apparently they're not the most welcoming there for me, at least. But
Now we can maybe
yeah, I
figure
got it.
something out.
maybe you could rent books for me, and I'll do something else in return. That'd be amazing.
Happily. Or we can find like it's an old library. Maybe there's like some kind of tunnel that leads to it.
Ooh, I like that idea.
All right.
Yeah. So, what do we want to do next?
Well,
Before we set out, Ottardo is going to like pull out some of his tools and get to work fixing the dents out of his shield.
Mm-hmm.
well, I think now that we actually caught our breath and patched ourselves up a little bit, and probably seemingly the danger in those chambers will have been dealt with, I think we could finally go and see where that green ribbon of light tried to show us.
And I'll finish putting on my armor properly.
Yeah. Now you can remove the clumsy condition. Yeah, and as Ottardo fixes his shield, occasionally needing like a careful tap of the hammer, sometimes a little more forcefully, and of course the metal on metal slams echo through the hallways of this level, and it makes you a little uneasy, but you do. I mean, it's not like anything jumps out to attack you. Maybe it upsets a couple of spiders that scurry off, but you don't draw any attention by any monstrous creatures, despite the fact that you might expect that to happen at any moment. But still, the hour goes by, and Ottardo successfully refocuses, fixes his shield, and you all feel somewhat rested. So with the drained condition, how does that work? You get it each time you get a full night's rest. Your drained value decreases by 1. Okay, so you'll be drained until you get a full night's rest. Okay. All right. So where do you want me to zoom you? Should we teleport to the level below and then to that natural cave where you last saw the green light disappear?
I
Sounds
guess
good to
so,
me.
yeah.
But
All right. Let me move you into position. So here we are. Activate this. All right. Here we go. You should see this now. So as you move forward, more of this cavern comes into view, and with that, a surprisingly like out of place seeming thing, which is a rusty metal chute that protrudes from the ceiling down here, and it comes to an end over a pool of slimy looking water, for lack of a better word. There's a huge mound of fungus that lies right under the tube against the wall, and it's like the way that it's lying there, it almost looks strangely monstrous in shape.
Okay, so we do see something that looks like tentacles.
Yeah, that's part of it. It's like maybe it's your imagination, or maybe there really is something to it, but it does seem kind of monstrous shaped.
Oh boy.
Can I do a recall knowledge?
Of course. Do this one.
ooh,
All right, and I'll say you're gonna have to move closer to it, and you carefully, like maybe even poke at it a little bit with your glaive from a seemingly safe distance, and you expect the worst to happen at any moment. But as you slice it or poke into it, as you poke into it, um, you just like there's a little puff of spores as some of the mushrooms get irritated, but you're pretty sure that it just happens to look like a pile of them. It's just your imagination is assigning shapes to it. But I assume you would share this with the rest of the group, and we can move you all a little closer here.
Yep.
And as you do so, and you poke it open, and you maybe like push it open a little bit, Augrael says, "No, no, no, no. This is not just fungus because you see flesh. Like you know what flesh looks like, and these fungi are clearly growing on strangely preserved flesh of some kind." So you ask Birke to like scrape away some of the fungus, and you bit by bit reveal a huge creature that has died here and has decomposed a little and is forming the soil, if you will, that these mushrooms are growing on. And the creature itself is well known to you, Augrael. It is known as an Otyug. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Thankfully, it is dead now. They are drawn to all sorts of filthy environments. They feed on garbage and refuse. There are cities that are known to have Otyug problems, like Corvosa, for example. Some of you might remember that.
Yep.
Oh, I remember those.
So they often dwell in dangerous close proximity to civilization, being drawn by all the offal and garbage. Thankfully, this one has long since died, but it must have just by the size of it, it must have been a marvelous specimen. Like I said, huge in size, and must have been quite an impressive monster when it was still alive.
Whoa. So maybe it's like a trash chute or something. If it was here, could have been drawn to it.
A particularly tasty one from the looks of it.
Yeah. Do we want to continue or?
Do we
Also-
remember which direction the light was going?
Well, it slithered down south and then out of view.
While we going past the thing, someone will still just pick at her magical instrument, the tone of Inspire Defense, just in case.
Yeah, so as you walk past the chute and further south, you see that there's a pool of water kind of splashing against the edge of this chamber. Fairly narrow passage that enters into it. The pool, the water is dark. It's not as slimy at all as the water under that pipe, so it looks fairly safe. And it only seems to be a couple of feet deep, maybe like 3 feet at its deepest.
Do we want to
do you
walk
see?
through it?
So you carefully wade into the water.
Yeah, very carefully, like measuring every step, tiptoeing.
And as you do so, you move and turn around the corner and you see a little bit of light emanating from ahead. There's a low, rocky aisle that rises less than a foot above the surrounding water. The surface is covered with a fine layer of pale green mushrooms and some kind of mold. And there is a human skeleton dressed in rotten leather armor and still clutching a rapier that lies in a heap at the center of the aisle.
I mean, we have a human skeleton and a corpse, so I'm not entirely phased by this.
In fact, someone will actually probably call out Lucas, saying like, "Luca, your expertise is needed."
I think he went unconscious again, so it'll have to just be us.
Well, yeah, Lucca is definitely not inclined to take the lead here, so he'll probably say something to the
Still-
effect of, "Yes, yes, so just I'll be right behind you."
Still calcifying.
Try to
Are
push
those?
circle.
Is that the light you saw?
It's green, so that's one of the qualifiers.
Yeah, it
That
is.
does
It
look like it.
does look very much like it, and as you draw near, um, the light changes a little bit in its quality, and it seems to like get somewhat like agitated, you would almost say, as it like starts to flicker more furiously, it seems, and then it gets brighter in certain sections, mostly around the skeleton itself, and then kind of all of this like diffuse light that fills the chamber here and there seems to gather around the skeleton and take on a more physical quality as you see textures starting to form, still transparent shapes, but nonetheless um, identifiable features of a creature, essentially. And it starts to form like from the bottom up. You see that, you know, boots starting to materialize, and then leather breeches. Is it breeches or pants, essentially? And the shape like starts to gather and gather. Then all of a sudden, there's like a belt of daggers that forms, arms, hands, leather braces, a shirt, um, and then a face with the trademark pointy mustache and beard of, some of you might recognize him, Otari Ilvashti of great legend. And
The
he,
very founder of Atari.
the
Oh,
very the
and
person
he's
that Otari was named
yeah,
after.
he was the guy who didn't come back after whom they named the town.
Okay, yeah.
Exactly right. And so you watch this in like fascinated horror, but it doesn't scare you like other things you've seen down here. And there is a somewhat encouraging presence that emanates from this apparition as it forms, and then it fully manifests. And he opens his ghostly eyes, which are completely white, and his gaze falls on you, and his face becomes an expression of panic as he reaches out and he says, "Watch out!" And you you like you fly around to see what is he talking about, and you see light. Some of that light that was that you thought was from part of this apparition that has like darted forth from that island is bouncing back from the walls, and instead of being also, you know, part of this manifestation, that turns out to be more of these flickering bands of semi-translucent light creatures that you have encountered before. And in addition to that, right in front of him, um, there's like almost like a shadow passing through the light, like a bit of light that has a different kind of texture to it, but you can't quite make out any particular shape. Okay, that's that. And here we go in initiative, because it is definitely quickly becoming clear that these light apparitions are not friendlies. Okay, so I'm gonna roll initiatives here. You can roll your initiatives yourself. Um, very nice. I'll roll for Lucca since Anthony is not here. And one more
How do I
thing.
change my dice? Everyone has very cool dice, and I have a boring origin.
I'll take a screen.
So Ari has manifested, and I'll give him an initiative 2. In a second at least.
I dropped it.
Okay. All right, everyone has
Oh, thank you very
rolled.
much.
Here we go. All right, so Otari, like I said, he like once he fully manifests and notices you, he panics and he yells, "Watch out!" And there's something he can do. Let me see what it is that he can do. Sorry. Okay. So who is within? There we go. And yes. So yeah, he reaches out and he goes, "Watch out!" with his arms outstretched, and then he kind of fades out of view for a moment. Um, like almost like becoming one with the surrounding light once again. But then Soma, that light is casting a shadow onto the cave wall next to you, right next to one of these um, light apparitions, these flickering, wispy things having appeared. And out of your shadow, Otari's arm reaches out and strikes at that creature right next to you that you had hardly even noticed. Um, Hold on. So he strikes out with a ghostly hand and hits it and does 14 points of damage to it. And then his arm or his hand like retracts back into the shadow and he re-manifests on that island. And that was very helpful, I'm sure. So Soma, your turn.
Well, for some, it is a moment of a great emotional, I guess, fulfillment or uh, otherwise excitement, but at the same time, I mean, of imminent danger, so she can barely gather her thoughts. Like, so first, like, her eyes go wide, like, she points the finger at the terrorist, like, ah, it's you! And then he yells, and like, oh my god, and everything is happening, so she strikes for defense, tries to hide behind Ottardo if I have enough move. Hope I have. And I think I will just cast Shield.
Right.
And for the next turn, I will actually start.
Okay. This wispy, flickering apparition that had revealed itself right next to you, Soma, is going to do something. It is, let me see, adjacent. Okay, so you see, like, you don't really see the creature itself, mostly for your benefit, Ali, because the group has encountered things like this before in that super creepy temple or altar room. I'll show you what it actually looks like, even though you can't quite make this out in its entirety because the thing itself is essentially invisible. It is just
Okay.
is also emitting a flickering light and is glowing. So you can kind of see its outline semi-translucent, you can vaguely make it out and you see these like hairy strings that seem to form an elongated body and then there's these bands of light that surround it and little motes flickering around it. It's all very, very confusing to behold, but at the same time weirdly fascinating. So I'll ask you to make a will save for Birke.
Okay.
And I will reveal that just because it's always nice to share a crit. Excellent.
Oy.
So
Nice.
you, I mean, you may be fascinated by this in an intellectual way, but you're not um, letting your guard down. You're not letting
I
these
am
things
an
confuse you.
academic first, a ranger second.
Excellent. Okay, then we have that another thing happening. What? Like I said, there was this. Hold on, I'm gonna have to double check something. Yes. Okay. So what happens is that that shadow or that weirdly, strangely different light that was passing in front of the island reveals itself, and it looks like a ball of colored light with a kind of like a skull shape floating in the center of it, and you see it for a brief moment as it discharges an arc of electricity that bends your way, Birke, and it strikes you for 29, which is a hit, and then it does 15 points of electricity damage as it basically just zaps your entire armor. And
Ouch.
then with another action, the thing goes dark again. So it is now, I believe, if it's not glowing, it's invisible. Yes, it is. So I should make it hidden, because so far it hasn't moved yet. Dum dum. And then it can spend another action to move. So that's what it's gonna do. And dum, 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 dum. Oh, actually, that was not quite true. For some reason, I thought shock is a ranged attack, but it is a melee attack. So it first floated, it appeared right in front of you, essentially, Birke. And then it went dark after the electricity discharged. So that was that turn. Birke, now it's your turn.
Okay, so first of all, I will hunt prey. Can I cast hunt prey if I know it's around there?
I mean, you don't see it. You've only seen it for a split second, so I don't. Well, I guess you can, because it also is part of like the pattern of attack and stuff. So yeah, I'll let you do it.
Okay.
So that would be an occultism.
Let's see. What do I know about you?
Not much. You don't know. It could be an undead. It could be an elemental. It could be an aberration. It's really hard to say.
Stuff of legend and fairy tales.
Yeah.
That's all I know. Can I still swing at it?
You can swing at it for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. It's hard to hit what you can't see.
Correct. All right. So that was action 2. What's action 3?
I would actually like to move towards the mound.
All right. So that takes half speed. So it's difficult terrain because it's like hip high water.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if you probably can't make it all the way there. Probably just up to here, I would guess.
Okay.
Yep. All right, and that concludes your turn. Okay, another flickering, wispy apparition shows up here, and what does it do? Augrael, it starts churning and flitting in the air just right next to you, trying to draw your attention.
Come on, Augrael.
And you fail to avert your
I wonder if
gaze in
I think it's
time.
worth hero pointing this.
And by the way, Inspired Defense actually gives you a bonus to.
Oh, does it?
Yes, it does.
Okay. I think I was still.
Yeah.
Unless. Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna re-roll this with a hero point.
All right. Still a fail.
All right.
So you're still confused by this display, and then it's Ottardo's turn.
Ottardo will step up to the one creature that or to one of the creatures that he can see. He will raise his shield And then he will attempt to strike the creature.
All right.
Okay.
That's the flat check. Very nice. That's a critical hit. Roll a crit damage.
Huge.
18 points of damage. So that's already doubled. Yes. All right. Yeah. So you like with full force, you just hack into that general area, and you slice through something with a weirdly spongy texture. But yeah, you're quite sure that you caused some damage. Was there an action left?
No, that's the whole thing.
Okay, Augrael.
Oh, just a question. Did you apply it to the skull thing or the wispy thing?
The skull thing.
I was aiming for the wispy thing because I think he
Oh,
can't see.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I've confused the colors here for the targeting. I'll take that back. But the description is very similar. That it has a similar texture to it as well. Okay, yeah, but that strikes it down, and something lands in the water, and there's like a little oily glow on top of it. And then it's Augrael's turn.
All right, who am I hitting?
Right, let's see. Soma is right next to you, Ottardo is right next to you, and the thing is right next to you, which you know, even though it is hidden from you. So let's say 1d3. We'll start with the thing and then go clockwise. And that's Soma.
Oh no. All right. All right. Here it is.
I think. Try to
You will what?
Well, I'm under my shield spell, so I will try to shield block this damage.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I don't need shield hit.
You should be able to just hit block and it should do everything for you.
I think maybe since the spell is not an item, it's not already.
I know there is a button.
Something happening?
Well, I push the button.
Oh yeah, you click block and it's just a setting, and then you click damage
Okay.
or half.
There we go.
Nice. It worked.
Oh.
I shielded.
Okay, so that was action 1 for Augrael. Action 2 is
Oh no.
Soma once again.
Oh no. Oops, that one.
Okay, at least Soma manages to dodge that, and Soma won that.
Okay.
Blocking it once again. All right. Lucca, Anthony, are you with us?
I am.
Excellent. You probably need a quick, need to be caught up real quick. So you moved into this part of the cavern where there's this pool, and I don't know. Yes, you can see that there's also a little island at the end, which is like imbued by this strange greenish light that you've been chasing through the vaults, all the way down here. And as you were standing here, and Birke was moving towards the island, a ghost started to manifest, and not just any ghost, but the ghost of Otari himself, which Soma, of course, would immediately recognize, and those of you interested in this history of Otari would also recognize. He looks somewhat sickly, something I forgot to mention earlier, but he is clearly uh, friendly to you, because as he manifested, he immediately called out to you and tried to warn you of some of those invisible, semi-visible, wispy things darting out of the shadows to attack you. And now it's your turn.
Okay, well, if there's wispy things, then they need to be dealt with. I see 2 wisps. I also see a thing that's hidden, concealed.
Yeah.
Do I have any
So
sense what that is?
this one's dead. You can give me an occultism check too, because you did briefly see it when it tried to electrocute Birke.
What did it look like when I briefly saw it?
Like a skull floating in a ball of light.
Oh, well, we've seen those, haven't we?
Yeah.
I think it's somewhat different. Don't be go.
Okay, I'd rather not use my action on that because I don't. If I
Alright.
do that, then I'm not going to be able to do much else. So, I'm just going to advance up, and there we go. And I'm going to try to reach out and touch this near-death guy here.
That is actually, this one's dead. It should say dead.
This one's dead?
Yeah, I don't know if it's saying near death because it should be saying death. Dead.
It is saying near death. Okay. Well, never mind. If that one's not dead, I'm going to try to reach out and touch the skull then, since I'm standing here.
Alright, so you're reaching into that space where it last manifested. Give me a flat DC.
Well, I'm actually chill touching it. So it gets a
So-
fortitude save.
But to target, you still need to succeed.
Oh, do I?
It's invisible.
Oh, it's in.
Yeah, I mean, it
Okay.
doesn't matter. It's hidden, and if a creature you're hidden from is off guard, and it must succeed at a DC 11 flat check when targeting you with an attack, spell, or other effect.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll give it a shot then, because I'm here.
Alright.
So let's see. All right.
That's a success. Okay, so then, yeah, so you reach in there and you touch something with like a spongy texture to it, and it'll do its save, and it fails.
Well, it's undead, so I imagine it's just off guard for 1 round.
It is not undead,
Oh, never mind.
so let's see that damage.
10 points.
Okay, yes. So probably to Lucca's surprise, you feel like the negative or the void energy battling some vital essence. So you are aware of the fact that it is a living creature, and it is enfeebled 1 for 1. Nope, only on a crit failure because it didn't crit fail. It is not enfeebled 1. All right. So that was your turn.
It is a living thing which is possessing the dead. Interesting. That's like the opposite of how it normally goes.
Right.
Yeah,
So,
I'm done.
Okay, Augrael, your shadow falls on a couple of those rocks here, and out of that shadow, Otari's arm reaches forth to strike at another critical hit,
Ooh.
and he causes 30 points of ghost on ghost violence here. So it's yeah, he has, of course, full damage against that thing, and you see like his arm reach out, and he touches, or he reaches straight into that glowing light, and you see how it like flickers, and then just goes out, and leaves this weird hairy oily residue on the water as it falls down, and then his arm disappears again. Soma, your turn.
Okay. Where's the Well, while we give a side eye to Augrael, I will try to target the invisible skull still.
Okay, let's see that d20. That's a miss.
Yes, too.
Eigentlich kommt Blondie.
Dankeschön.
Sollte blond wie mein Tier sein. Aber es konnte nicht. Es musste dirty blonde sein.
Okay, Dankeschön. I
It's
think
funny,
that-
yours do the same thing as mine, but with like English instead of Spanish.
Yeah,
Or German, right?
yeah, it's English and German. Well, he made a blondie. It was supposed to be just like his hair, but it ended up being dirty blonde. All right. So sorry, Carnus, I missed that. So you targeted that thing,
Oh,
and
everyone missed.
everyone missed. Okay.
Yes. You
So
missed, some
then
missed.
the thing's turn comes up, and it is right next to Lucca. So I would say it becomes visible for a brief moment as it kind of like just bobs forward to kind of headbutt you, and are getting very, very close, at least close enough for it to shock you critically for 28 points of electricity damage.
Ottardo is going to intervene here. He will grant Lucca resistance 6 to this damage. And
Has it been an
he-
hour since I last fell?
Yes.
It has. It has.
Great. Then I'm gonna collapse again as well.
So your bones are like just go fall into the water and sink to the bottom, which is like 3 feet deep.
And how? So, sorry, how much did I get resistance for?
6.
6. Okay. Got it.
Oh, no.
Okay, so that was
Or no, maybe, okay. So how does your ability work?
which one? What, the collapse on a critical
Yeah.
hit? It becomes a normal. Wait, what was it?
I basically I fall prone as a reaction, and I don't take a critical. It doesn't count as
So
it
it
negates
becomes
the crit basically.
it becomes
And
a
then you
normal hit.
take-
It becomes
you
a
should-
normal hit. Yeah.
You should have taken 8 points of damage because first it
Correct,
becomes a
yeah.
normal hit with 14 and then 6
Mhm.
resistance. Oh,
Yep,
you
got
hit. Yeah. Okay. So that was one action. Then it goes dark with its second action, in that instance becoming hidden from you. But then you get the sense that it is. Well, I should have, I guess, first made it hidden. I keep forgetting how this works. If it's hidden and then moves, do you still see it?
Yeah, we see it.
We see the outline.
Okay, then I'll make it undetected. No, it shouldn't be. Yeah, it should be undetected. So now you should no longer see it because it moved. And then it is Birke's turn.
What? So Otari fell down into a crumple
No,
That was Lucca.
boil. Oh no.
he's
was
still
Lucca.
there. He twice now. He has kind of faded away for a brief moment, only to reach out through one of your shadows and strike at one of those wispy things. But after that brief moment, he re-manifested on that island.
Okay, can I cast recall knowledge, hunt prey on him?
Hunt prey. Yeah. So recall knowledge. That would be occultism or religion, or is there still society
I'm gonna go with religion.
or any lore that might be helpful? Religion. Well,
Not very good.
clearly some sort of ghostly apparition, maybe an evil spirit of some kind, restless.
Yeah. Do we want to put it to rest by violence? The person who can I talk to it?
You can try to.
I'll try to communicate with it, reach out and try to yeah, connect.
What do you say?
That we mean it no harm, that we are just here for answers. That Otari, the town that carries his name, is in danger.
And he says, like he turns towards you. He turns towards you, and you see like his even his ghostly face is covered in splotches of some sort of illness. And he looks at you, and he seems quite worried, and he says, "I know, I brought you here, but we can't talk right now. There's still more of these wisps around. We'll talk in a moment.
How do we get rid of them?
Kill him."
Okay, yeah, helpful. Okay, I'll try to stab one of the stupid wisps. Can I see one of the wisps?
You see what you see, and if you don't see
No,
one,
I
you will.
don't see one. No, I don't
Yeah.
see any.
You could spend an action to try to find them, so you would do
Yeah.
a perception roll.
That I will do.
So that's the seek action.
Let's not spoil the
Um,
surprise.
Okay, it's a 15. So since you didn't say it differently, I'm assuming that's a because just to make to I don't think I've ever actually had to spell this out. So when you seek, so you're trying to detect a creature that you're not currently aware of. When we have a room like this, that's kind of big. You usually say if you're going to seek in a 30-foot cone in one particular direction, or just in a 15-foot burst around you. So just so we're clear on this. So when you say you seek, if you don't say anything, I'm going to assume a 15-foot burst. So we're not seeking the entire room at the same time.
Yeah.
All right, and then what
That
happens
makes
is you now rolled your perception, and I'm going to compare it against any creature that might be in your vicinity's stealth DC, which is too high in this case for anything to register, or nothing is here, but you're not aware of anything. So that, and seek is a single action, so now that was your turn. Ottardo.
Ottardo is going to raise his shield. And then seek for the creature since he can see it.
All right, seek.
In a burst.
Mm-hmm. And you don't see anything.
And it would be pointless to do that again, right? He will... Would he move? I guess he would stride over here, and that's the turn.
Okay, Augrael, you are still confused.
How does that work again? Do I get a flat check at the end of my turn?
If you take damage from an attack or a spell.
Oh, right, that's right. Okay, so I'm still confused then.
Yes. So we have 3 potential targets.
No.
We'll start with Souma, and we'll go clockwise. That is Ottardo.
Okay. Here it comes. Missed.
All right, that's a miss. So let's see. Now it's Lucca. Lucca's collapsed at the bottom of this, so I don't think he actually should count. So let's make this a D2. So yeah, that's Ottardo.
Okay.
And a 1, so that's Souma.
All right. Hopefully I keep missing. Nice.
Yes. You just flail kind of pitifully. Maybe something inside of you is holding you back still. Lucca, your bones are at the bottom of this little pool.
Yeah. Well, the only thing I can do is stand back up. So I stand back up.
That's a single action.
That's a single action. And then I look around. And I'm like, oh, Augrael, you really need to learn to stop attacking the living. This keeps happening.
He hisses at you.
I'm going to realize that nobody can see this thing, including myself, and I'm gonna use my last second level spell slot to see the unseen.
All right. Not sure. You can't
It should
see.
make invisible creatures concealed to me. So if it has the invisible condition on it, I should be able to see it. Okay, now I can see it.
You can, okay, and everyone else still can't. Okay, good.
Unfortunately, that's 3 actions, and technically I need an action to point out where it is, so I guess I'm done.
Yeah, that's true. All right. So Otari looks around and he says, "It's still around here. Prepare. It might shock you at any moment. These creatures are vile and they feed on fear." And then it's Soma's turn.
I can see it, but I
Uh,
can't tell anyone else about it.
That's it's things. So we'll continue doing it. Wait, no, never mind. I mean, if that thing is whispered, our defense will. So I will inspire courage instead. And then I will actually try to see.
And you don't see anything. Last action?
Yeah, I'll take cover behind the door.
Okay. All right. The wisp right next to Birke becomes visible as it tries to shock her.
Oh dear.
Critically hitting Birke for 24 points of electricity damage.
Ouch.
So that's 1. Then 2 getting dark, and 3 moving to become undetected by most of you. And then it's Birke's turn.
Okay, so I just took a hit, and I can't see what I'm supposed to be bloody fighting.
That's true.
Is there any way I can prepare myself for the next attack? I know I'm being shocked, so maybe like not stand on the water.
That doesn't really seem to make a difference, but I mean, you could ready an action because it does have to become visible, or it seems to become visible right after it shocks you. So you could
Okay.
ready an action to attack it before it can go dark again.
And that's what I would do.
Okay, so that's 2 actions. If there is another action you want to do before you're ready,
I will. No, I don't have any. I was gonna drink a healing potion, but I'm out.
yeah, and that would take. I think that would
I
take
have a
you to.
vial labeled yum. Can I drink that?
I think you would have to take it out and then drink it, if I'm not mistaken. So that's 2 actions,
Alright,
but you
so
could certainly take it out.
No, I will save it for some other reckless time.
Okay. Ottardo.
Ottardo is going to move next to Birke. And he's going to tap her on the shoulder. That should be only 12, but she gets that many hit points back. And for his last action, he will seek. Where is it? Oh, perception.
And you don't see it anywhere.
Are you quite sure that you've just healed Birke and not something else?
Oh wait, I'm healing, right? Sorry.
There you go. Augrael.
All right, who am I hitting?
Right. One.
Please don't hit me,
two.
Augrael.
We'll start with
Please.
Soma. Soma.
Oh no. Okay.
That's a miss. Soma
Please,
again.
I'm very weak.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
And now it's Lucca.
All right.
Oh, shit. I'm
Watch me
very
crit.
easy to hit.
Watch me crit. Okay.
No, thank goodness.
So you just splosh around the water in madness. Lucca, your turn.
Okay. He's gonna step away from the very violent Augrael. He's like, "You fool! This confusion will last no longer." He's gonna stand over here and he's like, "Stop confusing my friends!" And he is going to produce flame and point it at the creature.
Okay.
Which I think he still technically needs to make the 50-50 roll for, right? Because it's still concealed.
Correct. Well, concealed is not 50-50. Concealed, if it says concealed with that ability that you have, then it is.
I believe it is
just a
concealed.
That's a DC 5 check then.
Oh, okay. So it's just concealed. Oh, okay.
Made it.
And he targets the creature with a produced flame. He's like, "Birke, duck!" And he shoots a produced flame right over her shoulder at this thing.
All right. At the same time, also effectively indicating where it is.
And manages to miss regardless.
Okay. So it just hits the water. That was your turn. Okay, so Otari is going to reach out through Birke's shadow and trying to. Actually, he doesn't have to do that even because it is within reach of him where he is right now. So he just reaches out. Ooh, that's excellent. But he still has to make the 50-50 roll. All right, the first one succeeds. He strikes the thing critically and does 26 points of damage to it, and then reaches out again. Let's see, that d20 succeeds, strikes, but misses, and one third time succeeds and misses. So he just kind of like reaches in there. I wish I could help you more. I'm tied to this island.
No, you're doing great.
Soma.
Well, Soma, I suppose, she first will continue. No, actually, I don't think I should continue doing the Inspire Courage now. She will punch Augrael. Saying, I said cut it out!
Smack him across the face, 2 points of damage.
Yes, and she'll do it again.
Well,
Get the
you don't
message
have
across.
Just keeps
You're
hitting.
Wait, no, don't hit me! You don't hit me again! I'm good.
And then she will cast Inspire Courage again.
Okay. Okay, Augrael snaps out of it. Next to Birke, the thing becomes. Well, first it shocks you. The order of things is first it shocks you, so that's what it does before your ready to action triggers. It hits and does 7 points of damage.
Ottardo is going to use his reaction to grant Birke 6 points of resistance to that.
Okay. In that moment, it becomes visible, which means your ready to action triggers as a reaction, you can attack it.
Oh.
Oh, but you miss. Wait, hold on. Is that... That seems not right. Really? That's
That looks
impossible.
low.
What do you
Oh,
mean
no.
low?
No,
The
no,
AC?
that's it's plus 12. It's not plus 6. No. Yeah.
Oh my god. Okay, no, this is all correct. So, and then that was one action, and now as a second action, it goes dark, which means it becomes hidden in that moment, and then, so being invisible, and then it moves and becomes undetected for most of you. And then it's Birke's turn. Olive?
Oh, sorry, muted. I will ready the same action.
Okay, so you splosh around the water, you ready yourself
Yeah.
for another shock, and you ready an attack. Ottardo.
Oh,
Ottardo is going to raise his shield and seek.
Okay. You look around, but you don't see anything.
Okay, and then he is going to step back a little in case the creature targets Augrael or Souma.
Mm-hmm. Augrael, your turn.
He is just going to ready an action to strike if this thing becomes visible within his range.
Okay. So you look around the cave, ready to lash out at it. Lucca.
Lucca is going to try to hit it again. He's like, Souma, look out, it's coming for you! And he's going to try to produce flame.
Okay.
Oh god.
That's a miss anyway, so but at least it is now only hidden for everyone. Which means I think I have to take its invisible condition away for people to actually see it as hidden. Is it showing up for anyone?
It's gone completely now.
Oh, because it's also undetected
Yeah.
at the same time. There we go.
Nice, yeah.
Okay, so that was Lucca's turn, and then it's Otari's turn. So Otari also now being made aware of what's going on, he reaches out through Souma's shadow right next to the wall of that square that Lucca was trying to attack. Targeting that square, let's see if he can make his DC. He does. Striking out at it. He critically misses. And that
What?
takes 2 actions, so he doesn't have one left to do it again. Soma, your turn.
this is. I think I gain courage first, and whip out rapier. Just like takes one action to rapier, and then try to stab it.
Okay. Let's see the DC, the 20 first. That's a miss. All right. Then it's the creature's turn. Let's see. It has a couple of choices here, so I'm gonna say we'll start with Soma and go clockwise. It's Soma.
Oh no.
And it first shocks, critically hitting 28 points of electricity damage running through Soma's body, and then it becomes visible, which is just enough for Augrael to attack.
All right. Oh no! The 25. Oh no!
But missing, and then next action, the thing goes dark, and is thus hidden once more. And then last action, it moves, and thus becomes undetected.
Brutal.
Birke.
Well, I'm still alive. I'm still not shocked, and I'm still ready to whack-a-mole.
All right. But you did see that it's on the other end of the cave, or
Yeah,
at
but
least
it was it was previously on my end of the cave, so I'm assuming it's moving around.
Okay. All right.
Gotta cover
Ottardo.
all our bases.
Yep. Ottardo.
Again, we'll raise his shield. And seek.
Okay. But yeah, it just seems to be gone.
I think he will step back to this side, and that'll be his last action.
Okay. Augrael.
Same thing. He's gonna whack them all as well. Just
All right.
readying again.
Lucca.
If all of you would just wait, I would happily point it out to you.
That's a good point.
Yeah. Not having a lot of luck with produce flame. Gonna spend
very
an
hard to hit.
action.
I'll
Gonna
just
spend
point
an
out that
action. This thing's alive. It's not dead, right?
Yeah.
It's gonna spend an action to pull out a wand, and then he's gonna do the 2-action version of harm.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Let's see. What do I have to do? There we go. And since it's only concealed, I don't need to make that roll, right, to target it. It's just I can target it, or do I still need to make the DC 5 to target it?
Well, this is if you're healing. Wait, why did you say you wouldn't have to target it?
Because I can see. Well, no, not target it, but do I still have to do that, like the flat check for concealed?
Concealed. So when targeting you with an attack, spell, or other effect. So I would say yes, it's a DC 5. I can prompt you for it. Here you go.
Okay, you still have to do it. Okay. All right.
That's just for being targeted. So you succeed.
All right. So it now needs to make the fortitude save.
It
Yes.
Let's see that damage.
Can I can't make this critical, can I? No.
I'll-
All right. So
I'll
it's just
take
going to be
double.
double this.
Yes.
Ugh. 12 points.
Yes. That is great. And you do see. I mean, you do see it's like vague outline with the sea invisibility, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. The features are blurred, so you do see that it's like a major damage that you're doing, but it's still not yet destroyed.
Is that enough for the others to target it? Since I targeted it with magic.
Yes, that's enough to make it. Well, I mean, there's no real visible effect to it.
I mean, I'm pointing my wand at it and stuff. I don't know if that.
Right, so the general direction, and there's really only 2 squares that you could be pointing at, so I'll leave it to the players to decide which square they were thinking they were pointing at.
I'm pointing it on a diagonal, right over Ottardo's shoulder.
Right, yeah. So there's essentially just these 2 squares, this one,
Right.
or this one that you could be pointing it at.
Yeah.
Okay, but then it's Otari's turn, and he's following the same rules, so we're gonna do a D2 to see what he thinks. Whoops, that was wrong. and he thinks it's this one, and then he reaches into it, but fails to connect. Soma, your turn.
Someone will be sounding very angrily. For defense melody. For my next actions, I think I will ruffle for my attack and get.
Okay, you heal 15, and that's your turn?
Yeah.
Okay, the thing shocks Ottardo, or tries to, but crit misses, not crit, but misses. Has to become visible, which means Augrael's attack of opportunity triggers.
All right. I can't see it, so I can't target it. But should I just roll it?
Target it. I think it's still targeted. You can
Oh,
go ahead.
perfect. All right. I will. Yeah.
You miss it, and then it goes dark again and moves. So let's see, it is hidden, undetected. There we go. And then it's Birke's turn.
Is there anything in the environment that I can use that helps me like try and pinpoint this creature?
That's rolled into
Me, I'm in your environment.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, how do I throw your bones around?
No.
Start swinging them. You'll hit it eventually.
No,
Yeah.
just wait for me to point it out.
Okay, I will wait for Lucca to point it out.
All right. Ottardo, your turn.
Ottardo will listen to Lucca.
All right. Augrael, your turn.
Yeah, I'll listen to them too.
Lucca, your moment.
It's right fucking in front of me. He's gonna reach out and try to cold touch it.
There it is.
Or
Pointed
chill
out.
touch it.
Oh, hold on. So how does pointing out work? Is that a guaranteed success, or does it give people a
I mean,
check?
yeah, if I point out, I think I just point out.
So as an action, you indicate a creature that you can see to one or more allies. Creatures hidden to your allies rather than undetected. It works for allies who can see you and in a position where they could potentially detect the target. Yes, okay. So only if there's some trouble of making yourself understood. Okay, great. Yeah, so it's hidden. And
All right.
then you try to chill touch it. Okay, let's
Yep.
see the flat check. Success, and in trademark fashion. And then it is a success at the fortitude save, which means it
So
takes half of the damage.
It's a basic fortitude, so it will take just half that.
But that is enough.
Oh, never mind, I got it.
All right. So, couple of things are happening. First of all, you all get 120 XP.
Okay.
Oh shit, what does that put us at?
Pretty close.
Almost
910.
Almost there.
910?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Nice.
Yeah, Ali, you should also catch up with that. Yep.
Yep, thank you.
All right. So yeah, you look around, and you know you can never be quite sure if there's more of these things coming, but after a few moments of you just breathing heavily, and even Otari's ghost looking around with his white ghostly eyes, you convince yourself that this danger has passed. And Otari says, "It must have been all of them." And he turns towards you and says, They've been tormenting my what's left of my essence for what feels like ages. I'm so glad you finally found me here.
he seems
Was it
just
was it you?
sorry.
Go ahead.
And he seems to be very formidable for them to be tormenting him for ages. And if he could slap them like this, he'd probably well, there are probably more of those to fill the niches. Never mind. Yeah, so I would actually be very excited to see.
And he'll notice, and he'll say, "You seem to know me."
Yeah, yes, so like after the rest of almost dying wears out, she like almost gushes like oh my god, you are actually him. Those words they were actually literal. This is like oh my god, by the sweet doings of this night. I mean, I've read so much about you. I mean, I'm.
He see you know you're fangirling. He notices it, but he
You're a
seems
bit of a
confused.
celebrity.
Yeah, he seems confused about it, and he looks at you as if he's like, something just doesn't compute for him, and he looks at the remains on the island, as if, and then you see this shadow of like wistful longing as he seems to remember bits and pieces, and he says, "Yes, I I was him. I'm Otari. And you see like more memories apparently taking shape in his spiritual uh brain, and he says, I'm the Rose Guard. What happened? I got
Yeah, like,
separated from them. Are they okay?"
yeah, and like someone like immediately snap. They're fine. They got out. They got what's her name? The Bilcora. Yeah, they got Bilcora, but they didn't get Bilcora. I mean, apparently, I think, because the lighthouse is still haunted, and not by you, sir, not by you. I mean, like it's genuinely a bad place now. Yeah, but no, they are outside. They struck it rich. They built a whole town like named after you too. It's good. Like we let's put out my notes for a moment there.
Yes, this was all several centuries ago, to be clear. They might not be fine now.
But they succeeded. So they did it. I can't believe it. She seemed so powerful, so insurmountable at the time, and I guess they've at least bought us some time, because I feel her presence in these halls, despite the fact that I've been tied to this tiny little island for, yes, indeed, what feels like centuries. I've been shackled to not just this world, but this few feet of rock. Still, I feel her. I feel her gathering strength. Those things we fought, their presence must be tied to that as well. It's all. I feel like I haven't thought of anything in hundreds of years. These thoughts forming in my head for the first time in such a long, long time. I remember I fought her before, but then she pulled one of her tricks and made everything around me collapse. I fell and fell deeper and deeper, and she must have thought I was dead. So must have my companions. That felt like the whole world caved in around me, but I survived. I did, despite being severely injured. I remember fleeing through her horrible halls, these vaults that she had created under the Gauntlight that my friends and companions never knew anything about. I swore that I would make it out of here alive to tell them, and we'd come back and end her once and for all, and her entire presence. But I fought many a creature on my way through these halls, and I contracted a horrible disease. He fills his face, reaches for these like boils and things on his face that are still there even as a ghost. None of her creatures could bring me down, but it was this foul disease that eventually, and he looks at the remains on this island. Hunger, disease, weakness. It's what brought me down in the end. But not her power. And I'm still here. And you're here now. And we can stand against her once more. Even if my friends have left these realms. But you, I hope, will take up their mantle. Any response to that?
How do we know we can trust you, Spirit? So many others have been turned against us or tried to turn us against ourselves in this place. And even we have seen that even the peacefully resting dead can be turned by the power of this lighthouse to do the bidding of Belcora. How do we know you're not some further trick?
Now, Lucca. Look, he's been tortured here for generations. You've heard his story. You know his name.
So he claims.
That's definitely him. I can vouch for it.
Ghosts can be deceivious, but they're seldom liars or outright liars.
And he holds up a hand, asking you to be quiet and stop defending him. And he says, "Thank you. I appreciate your trust, but..." And then turning to Lucca, "I fully understand that you are suspicious. There are quite a few ghosts around. I can sense their manifestations. I feel their spectral presence. I thought it was just a side effect of Belcora's Gauntlight drawing these spiritual energies here, but it feels like something else is behind this. Some other ominous presence that I can sense, but I can't name it. I can't quite put my finger on it, so to speak. But I swear to you, I am not one of those evil entities. I believe I am tied and shackled to this plane because of it, though."
Oh, so just burying your bones wouldn't get rid of you?
No. No.
Damn.
He looks down at his bones again. I don't think I have any connection to these anymore. No, there's something else that I feel that is tying me here. It's like a barrier that I feel that I just can't break through. And I understand that this barrier is formed both in a spiritual sense, but also in a very, very physical sense. You may have even seen it, might even manifest in a visible way. And as far as I can understand, it's powered by the souls of Belcora's defeated enemies themselves. However, I still have a couple of tricks up my sleeve. I know how to take this barrier down. I just unfortunately cannot do it myself. You see, I already suspected that my companions were successful where I wasn't. Because I felt when they brought her down. And I think that as her slayers, the psychic resonance of my companions can bring that barrier down, give me peace, and hopefully put a stop to whatever is currently gathering in the lower levels of this place.
How do we get their psychic resonance?
I suspect that this might help. And he points to his remains. And you see a couple of things in there. I'll make this visible to you.
Can we get them? Can we like get to them?
Yes, you can. You can get to the island. You can get to the.
Oh,
the
good.
continent.
You don't mind if I borrow some of these, do you? Says Lucca as he begins taking the actual bones.
Like I said, I feel no connection to those anymore. I have moved on from them.
Oh, good, because
But-
that's a lovely clavicle right there.
Well, thank you. I do, however, still feel very connected to those, he says as you pick up his set of thieves' tools. I feel like I am like my own essence is resonating in it. It is my most treasured possession in life. It is what opened many a door and many a chest and many a treasure for me and my companions. And I know that my old friends had similar treasured belongings. I believe that gathering those 4 items of great significance of our troop might help. You would just have to put it somewhere where this vile energy that suffuses this place is the strongest. And hopefully it might do something to fight back that vile energy.
But after we put these down, could we pick them back up after? Augrael's eyes are so big at the thieves' tools. They're like a little kid seeing a toy they really want. It's like they're not gonna like go away, right? After.
And Atari looks at you and he like gives you a crooked smile and he says, "Spoken like a true adventurer." I don't know what happens after. All I know is that this barrier is a protective wall that Belcora, or whatever it is that is empowering her, has set up, and we need to bring it down, no matter the cost.
Okay, well I think we can do it.
I think we've been chosen for it.
I am relieved to hear you say that. I'm touched by your courage. I truly think that if my fellow companions were here, we would join you and we would fight this battle with you, but unfortunately we cannot. And I cannot even leave this rocky, desolate prison of sorts. But know that all of our hopes are with you. So take whatever you want. Take all of my equipment. Take my bones themselves. And bring Belcora to justice. Save Absalom. And save, potentially, the world.
You don't need to tell me twice.
They're packing up the bones.
For these bones, I got the minerals. Well, I am. Birke is moved.
And yes, Soma also like very. I forgot the word what exactly, but like with a great care, like and a sense of importance, like picks up like probably the dagger because well the thieves tools are like, oh man, the dagger of Venom.
Yeah, and Lucca is being very nonchalant about like sorting through and like gathering up these bones, but you may notice that he's taking them and he's packing them into a separate bag from his the rest of his bag of bones.
Augrael tries to sneakily take the thieves' tools.
Does anyone wants to oppose that, or is everything okay with that? I guess you're fine.
Yep.
Okay, we have a couple of other items. And I think it's, Otari essentially imparts on you what exactly it is that they do. So there's the sneaky key, which you need to be an expert in thievery and to be able to use. So I suspect that that's also Augrael.
He is an expert, yes.
Okay, so this is a talisman, which means it is a consumable item. So you can use it, I believe, only once. But when you do, you kind of like turn the key to activate it, and then the next minute, any of your attempts to pick a lock is a critical failure, you get a failure instead.
Oh.
Yeah, and once activated, a talisman burns out permanently, so it's a one-time use item. And then we have the +1 studded leather armor, which of course is a little musty, and there might be a little bit of fungus to scrape off, but its magic definitely preserved it well, so it's fully functional. Anyone is welcome to take that as well.
We could probably sell it for something good.
Thanks for the armor. We'll be
Yeah.
selling it in
It's-
town.
Actually, I didn't go to my change first, so strongly one way or another. But
All right, so you gather up the equipment, plus a few bones. And Atari watches you do that, and you can see that he has a little smile on his face, a little like you think you see a little bit of pride, as he appears to be quite impressed with you that you're so bravely take on this challenge right away without any pushback at all or any hesitation. I, unfortunately, he says, cannot tell you where those treasured items of my fellow friends, of my companions, might remain today. If they're long gone, as you say, I wonder and I hope that it won't take too long to travel and find the places that they, uh, where they perished.
well, I mean, we can at least ask Mr. Rajani if he has anything left from parents, ancestors. I think the descendants of Mehenes or was it Mr.
The mayor.
Yes.
I mean, they have been leaders of the town for quite a while. So I think we have at least a few of starting
What
point,
town are you speaking of?
and like so. The moment he asks, he like, oh, like, well, you see, well, once the Rose Guard got out, like, they decided, and she like starts to completely relegate the whole story about how they found that the town, the village, named the village after him, like to honor his heroic, no doubt heroic passing, and well, then like one thing left to another, and now it's a small town.
And Otari listens intently as you explain all this, and you can see like, that he's touched by that gesture, and he says, "Oh, my dear friends, what a sweet gesture to make. So you say they settled down after our final battle here?
Well, yeah.
That, that, that is great news. That must mean that their treasured possessions can't be far. Maybe what you say is true, and they have uh, um, relatives here, descendants that are still living in town, maybe indeed they can point you towards them. I'm sure that these items would have been handed down as treasured um, items of great legacy.
It's like a very, the very very naughty idea sparks in the Souma's eye. Like she like muses like, yeah, and you know what? Like the Colonel Rajani constantly grumbles how nobody respects him, and maybe we can bring him here and have you talk to him, and that would inspire him for greatness, you know. And then we can. He also could boast that he that he went down the Gauntlight, and that might actually boost his reputation somewhat, instead of constantly complaining about his stolen life.
Rajani, grumbly. You see Otari like smile as he seems to remember his old companion. He says, "I'm not surprised to hear that. I don't know what your stories say about Vol, but I can tell you that he was as capable of a swordsman as he was quiet most of the time. He only spoke when he had something to say. We all really valued his opinion, though. But he would also often be mistaken for somewhat of a grumbly loner when we knew him better." And he also always, now that you mention it, I remember Vol often speaking about the fact that he is, in fact, called for a higher purpose. He claims to have been exiled from Nadal, tracing back his lineage to long dethroned kings and queens, and
Well, I can perfectly understand him. I mean, yeah, as a matter of fact, I myself, like a daughter of our village, well, not chief, but well, my mom was a lore master, so it's pretty close.
well, then you will certainly be able to relate to his relatives, I'm sure.
Sure, yes. It's a tough yoke to bear sometimes, but.
Well, if you have no more questions for me at this time, you certainly know where to find me, and I believe we should not wait too long. We should not tarry,
Dilly dally.
dilly dally.
Yes. Haunt us no more, spirit.
We'll put you to rest.
Yeah, that's what he wants, I think.
He looks a little crestfallen as he gets rudely exercised by Lucca and leaving.
Yeah, Lucca. That was rude. You don't like ghosts?
He's I mean, he's just an echo of consciousness, really.
And you're an echo of a body. What's your deal, bro?
Well, as a matter of fact, that's a bit of a tricky subject on my account, but let's just say that ghosts are terrible.
Okay. We'll have to unpack that later.
The rest of you can put your blind faith in a phantasm that has been lingering in this hell vault for centuries. But I, for one, bear no trust for any spirit, no matter whose memory it claims to be a faint, shadowy impression of.
Well, what is its motive then?
What?
What if it's after? What is it after?
What is it after?
If not
Most
the
likely
helpers.
our demise.
But wouldn't there be easier ways to accomplish that?
Especially than killing the things that were trying to kill us. That seems like a roundabout way of hurting us.
Oh, you see, it wants us to do something for it, something that it itself cannot do. It wants us to retrieve
For-
that perhaps those could be used
Yeah,
by
by us.
Belcora? Hmm.
They're intended for us, though.
Yes, yes. So it
What
says.
enemy would? What enemy would just hand us weapons?
Don't you think that perhaps if Belcora really is rising once again, she might want some fool adventurers to gather up the weapons that were used against her so that she could be sure that it would not be turned against her a second time? Yes, I can see the scheme now, how it unfolds. It's clever. It's clever. I'll give him that.
Well, in
But I'm
what better
more
hands
clever.
than? Well, I can see you have thought this through. So, what better hands to keep hold of these weapons than yours? What
Yes,
better
indeed.
eyes than your eyes pocket?
We should not hesitate to gather these weapons. I think that is a good notion, but we ought to be careful about who we entrust them to. Note how he wants us to leave them somewhere, in some place of power. Yes,
Yeah, I agree
yes.
with you, Lucca.
Where
Let's retrieve
Belcora will
them
simply starch them up.
and
Deep
be
state might get to them.
wary.
Yes. I'm not saying the ghost doesn't have a good notion or two. I'm simply saying we shouldn't trust it.
Okay, I can agree with that.
Oh, good. I'm glad
Take it
you've
one
seen
step at a
reason.
time.
What's that? The last thing, Alan?
No, we just retrieve the weapons and figure things out as we go along the way.
Good. I'm glad you've seen things my way.
Has Lucca always been a conspiracy theorist, or is this a new thing?
Oh, no. Everything's a conspiracy. You can't have breakfast without a conspiracy.
Well,
And he doesn't have breakfast, so
he particularly dislikes spirits for some reason, or rather, incorporeal undead.
yeah, it's a bone thing.
It's a bone thing. So where do we
Okay.
find these weapons at? Or the things?
Well, we have one thing with us right now, and well, the rest I think we'll have to ask about.
Right.
Yes, I believe
So-
Soma has a good notion seeking out Rajani and any other descendants of the original Rose Guard. Your extensive knowledge of their company should prove quite useful.
Yeah.
And this barrier, or this place where we're supposed to put it, do we know where that is?
Oh, well, yeah. We got a glimpse of this before those. Like in stomach shivers, like remembering, like those whites try to drain all our life from us. It's just a little bit down the hall.
Got it.
Moves forward.
That is that. Yeah, that is indeed that looks like that physical manifestation that Ottardo was talking about. But remember that he said to place the icons, let's call them that, on and to a place where the strength of your unknown enemy is focused. So that's not necessarily where the physical barrier is.
Oh, I bet maybe it's what's the name of that god that I knew? I knew this. Let me double check. It started with an N. I'm looking, hold on. Nimbalath. Yeah.
I think everyone
Nimbalath.
at the same time now. Nimbalath. Yes. If we say it once more, it will arrive.
Yeah, maybe we put him on the altar in there.
Or perhaps, as much as I hate to say it,
No, not in the showers. Don't say the showers.
it could be the showers. Can someone tell me what all these tentacles are?
Yes, it's I knew this too. It's an Odie log. Odie, yeah.
A dead Otyuk, we think.
Oh,
Yes,
it's dead.
Otyug.
Oh, okay. Well, that doesn't mean it can't still be useful.
So where do we head next?
I don't know, but I'm out of second level spells. So if we run into more of those invisible things, I won't be able to help you.
Augrael's
think-
gonna look up the chute. Does it look like you can climb up it?
You probably could. It's I mean the size is definitely not too small. Let me see. Yeah, it's slightly sloped, so getting up there is certainly one thing.
Okay.
What's your athletics modifier?
My athletics is probably not great. What is it? +7, not too bad actually.
Yeah, you'd think it's doable. Certainly a challenge, but not like super hard.
Yeah, okay. He doesn't want it right now, but curious. Although, do you guys know where that leads? Augrael asked.
I mean, I have a general idea. I think it's might be that shaft that Birke almost fell down. So
Okay,
Yeah,
so you guys have. Okay, got it.
Yes. Nasty little trap. Laid by, I'll point out once again, a spirit.
Yes, there's plenty of those down here. Of all sorts. If we were to judge every pile of bones by the ones we found, then you'd be stuck.
How many piles of bones have tried to kill you, besides those whites?
Besides,
There is a sort of windy little path down here, says Lucca, not trying to change the subject at all. I'm curious. Although
You
my
just-
wounds make me hesitant to take the lead, even though I'm doing it anyway.
Oh, so we're just going this way. Okay.
Well, I just want to see where it goes. It can't go far, surely.
It meanders.
that's how we end up in the world.
Yep,
Augrael,
yep.
why don't you come take the lead?
Sure, Lucca.
Thank
I
you.
thought we were gonna like rest or something. No.
Lucca wants to go this way.
It would be better if you were standing in front. Oh, there's a hole.
Yeah, so it
okay.
meanders onwards for a little while, and now you're gonna continue down that or up that path. It slopes slightly upward.
Do you want to keep going?
I mean, if it just keeps on going like this, there's no way of knowing in which direction it could be going. And the river shows no signs of slowing.
If this gets deeper, we're gonna start roaring. All right, so you continue up that path, apparently having some sort of stroke, and finally emerge in that cave that you've been in before on the level above. The remains of that gibbering mouther. Gibbering? I always forget. That it's this pile of flesh and teeth and eyes and tongues still collapsed on the floor here, now much more smelly than it's been before, but you definitely recognize the cave itself.
Here we are. Well, now I
Just
know.
where you knew.
My curiosity is satiated.
Can we take a rest now? Before we find the weapons.
Yeah, we probably could go back to town and sleep on it.
yeah, to be honest, I feel really drained by this point. It's been a tough day.
All right. Then you head back to town, to Atari, no less. And all of you kind of, even Augrael, even though you never had much of a connection to Atari in the first place, but all of you sense the importance of this encounter, and Otari's words kind of still echo in your mind as you quietly make your way along the paths through the fog fen. And around lunchtime is when you're coming back to Otari. It was not a long trip you took today, but it certainly was full of new knowledge, new insights, and a way forward. And as you kind of come closer to the town, kind of overlooking at it as you're the fog fen, that's kind of higher up on the cliff as you approach the town, and the town itself is down at the sea level, so you look down upon it, and you wonder, where might those important icons of the Rose Guard be hiding in town? And that's where we're fading to black for today.
Dun, dun, dun.